I'm joined here by Miss Estruch from Miss Estruch Biology.
Hi everyone.
And we're going to be looking at some study skills, and I think that, I'm sure probably you're all using them at the moment, but flashcards are vitally important. But I think a lot of students use them incorrectly. And so we've got some here. You've got some biology ones.
Yep.
I don't know anything about any stuff there. I've got some physics ones that I made for some particle physics, which is kind of a bit of the course where there's lots of facts you just have to know. And I think a lot of biology is like that at A-level.
Yep, there's just a lot of facts. Often we say it's like learning another language when you get onto A-level biology because there's so many key terms and the mark scheme is incredibly specific. So flashcards are probably up there as one of my favourite active recall strategies, aside from exam questions.
Yeah, and so we've got some physical ones here. Of course, you can use things like Anki or kind of online flashcards. But I think sometimes I do like just having a physical piece of paper that I can put in my pocket, I can carry around with me, I can look at, when I'm waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just having these here means you can also add your notes on top of it and also rewrite your own really quickly.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of the kind of techniques and strategies are going to be completely applicable to online ones as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your kind of first tip that you've sort of found about getting the most out of the flashcards that you've got?
First of all, if you're going to be creating them yourself, you need to be making sure that the flashcards are just going through one card is one specific concept and you're not trying to cram too much onto a flashcard. Because the point of the flashcard is that, so we've got here different types of blood vessels and then I've just listed them. You're not meant to be cramming on all of your notes just onto a tiny piece of card. So it's making sure you're going through your specification, picking out, for biology anyway, key terms, key definitions. It might be questions that you've seen with key marking points, but you're not trying to assess too much per card. So it does mean you are going to end up with a lot of cards. I've got 750 for my A-level, but that's the most effective way, I'd say, in terms of creating them.
So it's not just mini notes, it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one way to do that is sometimes if you're making your own, the flashcards that you buy are quite big, and you can just cut them in half. So you don't have to fill the space that's there, just try and keep them as short as possible.
Yeah, definitely. That's the most effective way.
Something else I've noticed on the ones that you've got there, you've just got like a phrase or maybe a couple of keywords on the front. And I've tried to do the same with these ones. And what I've tried to avoid is just writing out a long sentence with a question.
Yeah.
And this means that,
there,
sometimes it's going to be unavoidable. But what I don't have is a question saying, what is the charge of a proton? Because then I guess if I ever saw that flashcard, I'd always be sort of kind of keyed up to just answering that one question about that thing. And when I've just got a word here like proton, there could be lots of possible things on the other side that I could be asked about. So it tries to, I'm not explaining this as well as I could, but rather than just kind of learning one key fact or almost like answering that question every single time, there are loads of possible questions that you could have about the proton which refer to what's on the other side.
Yeah, completely agree. So I don't really have like exam question and answer because I feel like that's sort of bordering into the just fitting notes on a page because there's very rarely a biology answer where it's going to be very, very short. But what I'm more interested in is, do you understand what the countercurrent flow mechanism is? And then that could be applied to a whole range of different exam questions.
And you don't just have text on the back, do you?
No, so I have images where it's applicable. So I think I've got a few in these, like the heart, because sometimes it's going to be important. Could you actually identify something on a diagram? Could you recognise it? So yeah, for the heart structure one, literally with the structure of the heart, it is just a diagram. So it was testing, do you know the different parts of the heart? So you can have flashcards with diagrams as well.
And graphs, especially in physics. Do you know the shape of the graph for the things like maybe like something like the nuclear forces inside the atom? Is there a shape of a graph for resonance? And these common graphs come up again and again, and they don't just have to be text-based. And I think that's an advantage of doing them by hand, is that you can draw anything on the back.
Yeah.
So when you're learning it, you've got, I guess, a whole big stack of these.
Yes.
Are you just going to go through them in the same order every single time, or what's your...
top tips then. So first of all, if I was doing them, I've got them arranged by topic. So you can then say, I'm revising topic 1 today, this is my topic 3. I would go through it first of all, just in order, checking which I can answer. So if I got that right, I'd put it in this pile. If I got it wrong, over here. And then once you've got through your whole pile, let's say this is my correct, this was my wrong, I would then go through my wrong pile again until I got it correct. But also the wrong pile, you would then assess yourself on more frequently. So you might say, I'm now going to do those every day. These ones I might do once or twice a week, because I already know these, so let's not waste my time, because your time's precious, your exams are nearly here. Focus on what you are not remembering and not getting right.
Yeah.
But also, you will, the more times you go through it, you start to just remember the order of them, and you might actually get to the point where your brain is remembering the pattern of going through the cards rather than what's on the card. So just like if you were playing a card game, you should be shuffling your cards in between when you're going to do the whole deck again. Shuffle them. You can also do them different directions, so it's easier to do it this way round, where you're reading the information and you have to guess which key term it is. So if I read all of this, so we can see we've got evaporation, all these key terms, it's easier to know it's to do with this topic. Whereas if I was to do it this way and I had to then explain how humidity affects transpiration and get all of that information, it's harder. So you might want to start on the easier side, then do the harder way round, but then you can shuffle them and do half and half as well.
Yeah, and do you always do it just on your own, or have you had other people help kind of test you?
Yeah, it depends if you've got available. If you're by yourself, then you absolutely can do it by yourself, but you have to be really strict with yourself and say, well, if I didn't get everything on the back of that card, then that is going on the incorrect pile. But it is a great way that you can do revision with someone in your family or with friends if you want it to be less boring and isolating, because you can do it with someone that's got no idea about physics or biology. They just need to be able to tell you, did you get the information on the back of the card? So it's a great one to do together. Yeah,
and I guess, of course, if there's people in your class or some of your peers, then maybe they could ask you about some of the kind of things that come up. So they probably have an understanding of the context, and they might kind of test you on the back and maybe ask you a further follow-up question just to kind of really kind of deepen that knowledge. Obviously, that's a bit more fun maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's fun asking people questions.
Biology is always fun, so it's fun for biologists. Yeah.
Yeah.
About physics, but yeah, there we go.
It's always good. Yeah. So flashcards, I think it's definitely one of the key things that you need, because there are just facts that you have to remember. You need to know like the quark structure of a proton, and that's something that if you know it, it's easy marks in an exam.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, it's impossible to work it out. And I think there must be loads of biology as well, it's like
Definitely.
that, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a whole selection of key terms you need to know. It doesn't explicitly have that as a part of the spec, but in the inheritance topic, you have to know all the different types of inheritance, and the questions usually start with a 1 or 2 mark definition. So if you've learned the exact definition from the specification, then that's going to help you bank some of those easier marks.
Brilliant. So if they want to get hold of your flashcards for A-level biology, where do they find them?
missestruch.co.uk, so that's where you can get those flashcards.
And also I've got some for physics. I've just put them together for the AQA particle physics module, but again you can find those on my shop.